The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Hello, here I am. This is Nikki Glaser Podcast. Welcome to the show. It's Nikki Glaser. I'm here with Brian Frangie. I'm not here with him, but he's here on
I'm
video.
here in spirit.
Yeah. I mean, and more than that. Video, I see your face moving.
That's
audio.
true.
You're not here in spirit. That's the only thing you aren't hearing for me. How's you going?
Mine's going good. I'm doing all right. I'm doing terrible as usual, but my headspace is decent, which is good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I feel like now this is an interesting time. This is obviously not more interesting than your last 2 weeks. Which have been a whirlwind roller coaster ride of insanity.
Yes.
But I feel like this period is the frequently not talked about period, which I would like to call the reflections period, where things start to slow down.
Yes.
And now you're like, what just happened?
Yep.
And how do I feel now?
Yeah. That's a good point. Thank you for dovetailing this into about me after I asked you how you were doing.
Well,
but
I don't
want
want
to
to
in a good headspace.
I don't want to spiral into, what am I going to talk about, everything that's going wrong? Let's talk about...
Well, let me guess. You can't sleep. Your teeth
sleep.
hurt.
My teeth hurt. Yeah.
Your dog is restless. And your wife is happy. And, and her spirits are high, which can be annoying at times. There's coconuts falling down from pine cones are starting to fall.
Yeah, no, it's getting
hot.
into the season where the pine cones are falling and it's dangerous out there.
Yeah.
I can't even go outside my house without worrying.
Yeah, well, we'll get into your anxieties because I think it all tracks together of like all the things, we're all going through things right now. If you're not going through something, get out.
Yeah, someone once told me I was like complaining about something. It was like I was confiding in a friend over lunch about a problem I was having.
Big mistake.
I know, that was my first mistake. You can't confide in friends. That's what you go to the grocery store
We've learned
for.
anything, yeah.
So I was talking to him and he said this thing and it made me so mad. He goes, "Well, everyone's dealing with something." And I wanted to jump across the table and cut his head off with a butter knife. So it would take
are people so bad at being friends or like just saying the right thing? Like this whole haven't we all seen enough memes of like when people say there's starving kids, not memes, but just like culturally we make fun of like, well, there's starving kids in Africa, stop complaining or whatever it is. Don't we all know that it doesn't matter and that yes, we have it better than any group of people in the history of human society, human beings existing for thousands of years. We have it better, hundreds of thousands of years. We have it better than any of them lifestyle wise, and yet we're all miserable. It doesn't matter because the reason we're miserable is because we feel lack of purpose, because we used to always just be hunting and gathering, trying to stay alive, trying to not get eaten, trying to make it sure our babies don't die, trying to find drinking water. Like we were consumed with purpose. And every waking second. And you didn't have time to get depressed.
Wait. So you're telling me the cavemen weren't dealing with 17 different types of pillows and not knowing which one is going to be best for your neck?
I mean, I wonder at what point they realized like that some of them were getting different moss that would resemble like a Tempur-Pedic, and we're upgrading, and then that moss became like at what point? Yeah, there was probably.
At what point did the caveman moss become an issue? I mean, probably right around the time that Jesus came around.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Brian, your issues with the pillows, it's bigger than that. It's deeper. There's something else going on. All of the things that I worry about are just masking for some other thing in my life that I'm not ready to address. I mean, my wrist has been hurting recently, like carpal tunnel. And man, I've been doing such a good job of every time it acts up, I just go, it's all in my head. It's all in my head. It's all in my head.
Yeah.
This isn't real. This isn't an injury. This isn't I'm picturing like where it's hurting and that it's inflamed and there's tendinitis. Even so, I just go, it's all in my head. And it's been going away when I do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it works.
Wow. Yeah,
And
it does
and
work.
Then it starts hurting again when I start stressing about this very specific thing in my life. A
Mm-hmm.
volleyball game I have coming up. No, it starts hurting immediately when I start stressing about a specific area of my life that I'm stressed about. And then there's this back injury I have that,
Mm-hmm.
always flares up when there's some kind of stress going on. And I always go, no, I twisted it in Pilates or whatever I tell myself, which could be true. Like I was aggravating things in Pilates one day and then I couldn't move my neck for a couple days. But I also was going through a ton of stress. And I think it's that I'm not like people who want to be injured. I would rather it be in my head. That's why I think I can get over these things so quickly, because as soon as I go, it's in your head, I really accept that and then it goes away, which is the
Well, the
Sarno
beauty
method.
of it-
You have to accept it.
The beauty of it is, even if you do have an injury, like a muscle pull, not if your
Sure.
like bone is broken or something, but if you have a muscle pull or a strain or something like that, and you just make your head say it's fine, it's okay, then even
It's in
though
my
it's
head.
injured and it's
Yeah.
hurting, your brain learns to kind of ignore it, and you just kind of proceed. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of annoying and kind of limiting, but it becomes pushed back into the depths of your consciousness so that you're not really focused on it, and it doesn't bother you.
Yeah, pain can be mitigated. Pain
Yeah.
can be lessened. Like your pain is your nerves feeling something, and you can psychologically you can kind of turn off your nerves with meditation and with mindfulness. Like it actually does work, and it doesn't take away from the fact that you are injured. But what it does take away from is the fact that you get to complain like you don't have control over it. And that's something people really like to do. And the fact is you can have control over it. You just have to do things that seem kind of woo-woo and hard. And maybe you don't want to do them and you don't have control over it because you're the type of person that will never believe in that stuff and you were born that way and you can't help it. So you deserve to feel your pain. It's all okay. But I will say, in talking about we're 2 weeks out of the roast.
Yeah.
The night my life changed.
You just got back from New York.
I was in New York. I just got back I did a week of press. Right after the roast, I did a week of press in LA for my special. My special came out that next Saturday. And then I flew from LA to New York and did a week, 3 days of press in New York. 2 days, really. But I was there 3 days for my special. And, obviously the roast stuff. And then I flew back Thursday to St. Louis, or Wednesday night, was there Thursday, and then went to go see my dad play music Thursday night. Fun little St. Louis night. And then Friday was in Vegas for 2 shows with David Spade, Friday and Saturday. Those were sold out. They haven't been before.
Hell yeah.
Something's happening.
Something changed.
I mean, they were close
Seems like
to sold
something
out.
maybe changed.
Yeah, Grown Ups 3 is in the mix. It is being floated. No, I don't know. So that was really fun, and those shows were just so fun, and I got to hang with friends and relax by the pool during the day, and it was just a great time. And then came home to St. Louis on Sunday, and today is Tuesday, and I'm feeling it's a little weird being back and feeling like but I'm not having the crash because I knew there would be of like if I let this attention in too much and I'm too like, oh my God, my life is so good right now. Everyone loves me. Everyone wants a piece of me. My numbers are going up. I just knew it would go away because it will. And so I didn't let it in too much. I let it in enough. I'm proud of myself, which I don't think pride is a good quality. So I'm grateful for everything, how my life landed up here. I'm grateful for everything that led me to doing well at that roast. The hard work, the people who helped me, the parents who believed in me to even have this career, being a woman born in a country that can even say dirty things, like all the things that led me to believe to be
the man
successful.
the garbage man. Without them, you wouldn't even you'd have garbage piling up in the streets.
Yes, that I
Without
hit with
them,
my
you
car.
couldn't even get to the.
I hit a garbage man.
Airport.
Did I tell you that? Yeah.
Recently?
No, when I was in high school, I hit a garbage man with my car, and I went to. He sued me, and
Wow.
it was a
and you
whole
lost?
thing. No, I actually won. They divvied up the blame. They said I was 30% to blame and he was 70%. And so we only had to pay him 30% of what he was asking, which was ideal because if he would have gotten 0, he would have just appealed it. So
Thank
it was
God.
honestly, our lawyers were like, 30% is exactly what you want because any lower, he would have done it again.
Right.
So,
Thank God. These garbage men have been getting off too easy for too long. And
I'll just tell you, never speed. I wasn't speeding, but never always cautiously go past a garbage truck because they will jump out. They might not hear your car. It might be like one of those, like I've avoided so many different pedestrian incidents because I'm obsessed with not hitting someone again.
Yeah. Well, they're constantly jumping off. It's like Universal Studios. It's like they're just jumping off and jumping out from behind the truck and scaring you. And
yeah.
they're not thinking. They wake up at 4:00 in the morning to pick up trash, and they have to jump off the. Do you have the guys? It used to be the guys that hang off the back of the truck. And they have to physically get off and dump. And now, and at least in Culver City, it's like the arms that go out,
come out and,
the mechanical arms that grab.
I think we have both.
Yeah, you have.
But yeah,
both.
those guys were jumping off. But they are
Wild.
very savvy about when to jump and when not. Like usually they are. I was in an area when I hit a garbage man. It was at night. It was it was like dusk.
Garbage man. It was in the morning.
And no, it was sorry, not
garbage
dusk.
man at night.
Like dusk is like when the sun's going down, right? Like it was probably like
dusk is down.
Yeah, so it was around 6:00, which in my neighborhood we only have garbage men in the morning, and so
why would a garbage man be out at night? That's so weird.
So I thought it was parked, like I didn't even think. So I just went past it at a normal speed, and then he jumped out. And then when I was on trial, they were making me out to be some like kind of white privileged bitch. Because he was not a white man, and I think it was about like she just is driving recklessly and doesn't care about black people, and it was just like, and I said
that's interesting.
I do think it was part of I do think it was part of their prosecution was to make me out, and
so
fair.
If it was a white garbage man, you would have swerved around.
If it not even that, it was just like maybe it wasn't about him being black. It was about me being white and entitled and I was in an area of my town that had garbage men pick up at night. So I guess that made that a poorer part of town or something. And I'm from the elitist part of town because I said I never knew garbage men worked past the morning or like, midday. I'd never seen a garbage truck out, and they're like, oh, so the neighborhoods you go in, garbage men only work in the morning.
Is that white privilege?
Well, it's just, I don't know. I don't know.
Morning garbage pickup white privilege? I didn't even know that. That's how.
I just thought that was when they pick it up. I just didn't know.
So they go to the white neighborhoods first, and then if they have time, they'll go to the black neighborhoods and pick up the garbage?
I don't think it was more because I was not in it was just in an area that was probably not as well off as mine, right?
Wow.
And so they also the woman made me out to be like, you were just driving la 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 da 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 da.
What the fuck is this?
I'm not even joking you. This was the first stand-up thing I've ever did because I was on the stand and she was this woman defending this guy, and she goes, so you were with your friend, blaring music, just driving la 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 la, just driving down the road. And I go, well, I didn't look like that. And it fucking killed, dude. The whole jury laughed because I just go, I didn't look like that. And it was, I'm not even joking. It was the first time publicly I had gotten laughter.
Wow.
I think I started stand up the next year. Or maybe I was still doing. It was just there was something about it that I was like, "Ooh, that killed." And then I had them on my side because she was such a twat.
You were in the witness stand when you said that?
Yeah, I was on the witness stand.
God. And then you pull the microphone out of the witness stand
and I dropped
start
it.
Walking around. You dropped it.
I took it out and then I dropped it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great.
And they said you're gonna have to pay for that. That's actually.
Yeah, we'll put that towards that 30% UO. It was an interesting trial. The craziest part of the trial was I've said this on podcasts before, so I'm sorry if long-term besties have heard this a million times. I think it was going to go like 50-50. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they were even going to give me more of the blame. And I swear to God this happened. I'm on the stand. And oh no, I'm not on the stand. I'm seated at the where OJ sat or whatever. You know, like where you sit on the trial. I'm just like thinking of like
yeah, on his wife's corpse.
Yeah, and he's on the stand, the guy that I hit. Which, by the way, when I hit him and he was taken away in an ambulance, and I tried to get information about what happened to him, and I never heard anything until 4 years later, right before the statute ran out. We get a call from his lawyer suing me. So then I had to go do a deposition. Taylor had to go do a deposition. Taylor McGraw,
was in the car with you.
She was in the car with me, and so I'm on the stand.
She probably did some great sound effects during her deposition.
Oh,
she's so good at sound effects.
She is.
Well, she always makes noises.
Yeah, she's good at noises, and she's good at like.
noises.
And then she was like, "I'm not gonna do that. And we were like, oh no. Yeah, I could see her doing that. No, we were listening to Z107, probably loudly, but that's like allowed. It's not like I would have not hit a garbage man if I wasn't listening to music.
Do you remember the song that was playing? Since it was such a target
No,
of
but
the
I'm sure it was something like Ja Rule's, like, everybody gonna live it up. What do I do? Everybody's gonna live it up.
Wow. So Ja Rule, maybe that would have helped you. She's like, you're listening to some, Fiona Apple bullshit. And you're like, actually, it was Ja.
You hit a black man, but at least you're supporting black excellence
Yes.
in pop music. No,
Wonderful. You did a
I went
wonderful
over
thing.
to his body because he was laying in the grass. He had jumped up and I hit his leg. So if he hadn't jumped, he would have gone under and it would have been horrible.
Wait, he was laying in the grass?
Dude, I hit a man severely. Like, I'm not kidding you, like, trauma.
Wow.
Like, from this. I almost killed a man.
So
and
he
it's
jumped
not funny.
off from behind the truck.
So I was driving. Our cars got parallel, right? My car is going, we're facing different directions. He's on the side of the street. I think he's parked because it's a garbage truck past hours. And I don't see lights. I don't see moving. It's at dusk. And I doubt he had lights on because I don't think we did. And my car, my mom's Land Cruiser, little white bitch driving our mom's big old Land Cruiser, gets parallel with the back of his truck. And he jumps out to get a garbage can across the street. And I see him run out. We lock eyes. It is slow motion, and he jumps, and then my car just hits his legs, and he goes tumbling into the street, and then into the grassy knoll.
Yes.
He's laying in a grassy knoll, and I pull forward, like I stop, and then I look at Taylor, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I start laughing because that is a trauma response I found out. I felt really embarrassed about laughing before because there's nothing funny about it, but I just couldn't. I thought it was a dream, kind of. And so I just had to laugh because it was just like a lot of times
it's just so ridiculous.
They will see people, like, even rape victims will like laugh before it when it's happening, or like when people are getting it's a common response to being terrified. And so I remember laughing, and then I remember feeling really bad about laughing. And so I stopped, and then there was a part of me that was like, just run, just go, just drive. Like, I do understand the psychology behind a hit and run, because there is this thing in you that's like fight or flight, and you're about to either go to prison. And also I hate seeing bloody injuries. And so I was like, I'm the first on the scene. I know all of this has sounded horrible. And if you've never lived something like it, you can totally point at me and be like, you're not compassionate. You didn't get up. I don't like gore, and I was too scared to see it. And
you're a teenager. Remember that.
Can everyone remember I was 16 and my brain had not developed properly? So I didn't run, obviously, but I will say I don't even need to share the fact that I thought that. I'm only sharing it because I did feel it. And I didn't. And then my mom had a car phone, like one of the first car phones. You know, the ones that would like latch on and had the big buttons on the outside. So I called 911, and I didn't want to get out of the car because I was so scared. Because
that's where white privilege helped the situation.
There we go. We were one of the first ones with car phone. And I think we had one in 1995. And so then, and this is 2000. So then... so then I got out, and all of his garbage truck friends, colleagues are surrounding him. And then one of them comes up to me and is like, he's always jumping out. I told him this was going to happen. He's never looking out.
Can we get that guy in the stand?
Really helped. Well, that guy changed his story by the time he got to the stand. But I swear to God that I only remember it, not because I was like trying to find evidence it wasn't my fault. I remember it because he said it so many times to me and was trying to calm me down and was like, this is not your fault, over and over and over. And so I remembered it because I needed that. And so by the time we were sued 4 years later, that guy was mum on that kind of language, and I was only my hearsay. But during the trial, we got to go to break. He is on the stand, and his attorney, and I know I've told this before, so I'm sorry. We'll talk about other things after this. His attorney is cross-examining him and asks him, have you ever been charged with a felony? He said, yes. We're like, what was the charge? Child molestation.
Oh, God. Well, it's over.
It was over. I don't feel like it's fair that it was over, but my side of things, we didn't even know about that, my side. And I promise you, this really happened. He said that. I waited about 20 seconds so it wouldn't be connected, but I turned around. My mom was in the very back of the courtroom, And I just looked at her and raised my eyebrows like, this is done. Because the whole jury had already laughed at my joke. They were kind of like making fun of the circus that was his attorneys that were being so buffoonish in interrogating me. And then they find out he's a child molester, and it's just like, you're not going to give that guy money. And it's not fair because it shouldn't be connected, and he should not have to be judged for that. But it did come up, and his attorney brought it up. No one even asked. We didn't
that
even
attorney
know.
sucks. That's what happens when you don't have money to afford it. It's probably like a cheap billboard attorney or something. But you're a hero. Nikki Glaser riding around town, running down child molesters. You're a hero.
In the end, yes. But, you know, that's my advice.
Like
if you do hit
the
someone with
Punisher.
your car, which we are all very prone to hitting someone with our car because pedestrian hits are up so much in this country because of distracted driving, just hit someone who has been charged with molesting a child before. Now, it's hard to get charged those people, but you can just tell, you know, in the way.
Yeah.
I don't know how you are supposed to tell someone's a child molester, but chances are they are. But have they gotten caught with it? I don't know. Okay, we have to go to break. Not everyone's a child molester. I was just joking. Okay, be back after this. All right, we are back. Let's do a quick, before we get into anything else, Noah update.
Oh.
Because people are dying to know what's going on. So she has been a mom since.
Wow.
Let's see. When did she tell us? Oh, wait. No, that's not the right thread. Okay, here we go. She has been a mom since Saturday, April 27th, 2024.
Wow. Congratulations, Noah.
Congratulations, Noah.
Yay.
It's a palindrome birthday if you shorten the year. So 42724. 427.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Her baby's name is Toby. Toby. Leah Kulawi. Kulawy. Toby Leah Kuwali.
Those are all middle names? Or-
Yeah. No.
What's the last name's Kulawi?
Yeah. Kulawi.
Okay.
That is her husband's last name. Toby is her name. She's so cute.
Wow. So Toby, kind of like a guy's name as for a girl, usually. It's like a unisex name, which I like.
Yeah, it kind of is. But Toby's are such a, like, it's for a girl that's just such a girl who's like precocious, knows who she is. I really do feel like names dictate how someone is going to be. And Toby is not going to be like soft-spoken and scared and insecure. A Toby just like knows who she is right out of the gate. You literally can't be a Toby who's just like,
I don't think I've ever met a
I'm
Toby.
not sure. But yeah, I'm trying to think if I've met a Toby.
Is there besides Toby Keith? I don't know any other Tobys.
And I haven't met him. No, I don't really know. But I think Toby is like a great name. I was really
I think it's a cool
satisfied
name.
with that decision. She's just so cute. She sent a lot of pictures to me and to the girls' chat. Toby is a beautiful little girl. She has Noah's. I told her, Noah, that she has her eyes. And Noah was like, I don't see it. I keep seeing Avi. What did Noah say? Yeah, she said that she sees Avi. No, hold on. I have to scroll up because we had a huge conversation. Oh my God. Oh yeah, Toby. Oh my God, she's so cute. Yeah, she is happy. And I'm going to post this conversation that we had because I go, how's Tobes? And she goes, she sucks. And I said, and then I wrote, ha ha ha. And she goes, on my boobs all the time.
Hey,
LOL. I was like, I
there
like
you
that,
go.
Noah.
Yeah.
So
wow,
Toby,
Mom Noah, she's got some good timing.
yeah, right. She's like, she says it's nice that she's filling in and not so much like gelatin, so it's easier to handle her.
God, yeah, those
she-
first days, I can imagine.
Yeah, she's really happy, and she just like we haven't talked a ton and heard from her on the girls' chat in a ton, but I have let Noah know that she has been missed. And that not only the fans miss her, but we miss her, and I miss her on girls' chat. But she's just like in mom zone right now, which I'm interested to find out from her how, like, if it's boring, if she wishes she were doing other stuff, or is it just so fascinating all the time that you birth this thing that you're kind of not bored, or are you on your phone a lot? Like, do you still care about the stuff you used to care about now that you've brought a baby into this world?
Interesting questions, yeah. And I don't know the answers, but I do know what my brother went through, and I can tell you that they all say that they're just exhausted constantly.
Yeah.
They can't think about, like, stuff they're interested in because they're just tired.
No, thank you.
Yeah. That's but I don't know. That's not my experience. I never had a
some
child.
people can have it all and still be, but also you almost don't want to be interested in the same things you were interested in because your life, that's why you had a kid, was to bring meaning to your life, and you didn't want your meaning to be like watching TikToks all day. Like you wanted more. And so it always makes me laugh. I love Lisa Traeger's joke about how she's like, my friend who had kids, she's like, it's changed me. And she's like, no, I just think now you're like, you still you're still an anorexic but now you just have a kid. Like you think that people won't care about stuff they used to, but I think Noah is still like, I'm looking at our chat and I'm like, oh, I want to find Toby stuff. And it's like all stuff she's like asking about my life. And so she's still like a really good friend, really present. Is it making everything about being a mom when she really could? Like, I want to just say to all of my friends with babies, literally, I was like, send me a daily Toby picture. There's no part of me that would not want to look at a picture of my best friend's baby. Like, it's just other babies, not so much, but like, especially like men who have babies, like I don't really care because I'll look at them, but I don't care as much as when a mom I know has a baby. I'm so much more like, show me everything about it. I've noticed that when men are like, this is my baby, I'm just like, and where's your wife? Show me a picture of her. Like, let's celebrate her for a second.
That happens. I mean, you just kind of like lose track of your spouse when you have a kid.
That would be really hard for me as someone who likes attention, that I would be very pregnant. I would get so much attention, which I think is, I've said, and I'm working on a bit about, if you want as much attention as being a celebrity of my stature gives you, you should get engaged and talk about it a lot. Just mention you're engaged and people will have so many questions for you and be very interested in your life. And also being pregnant is a ton of attention. And then you have a baby. You look a little bit pregnant, but if anyone does think you're still pregnant, it's really insulting to you. It's not like a fun feeling to be thought of as pregnant when you're not anymore. And then you're at home a lot because you're not bringing the baby out. So all of a sudden you went from being like out and about with your stomach and looking so cute and everyone's going, oh, when are you due? All this attention to like, you have the baby, then you get a flood of texts. You're sending a bunch of stuff to family members. And then the baby's just, it has to drop off. It has to be a similar thing to what I'm going through of like so much attention. Now everyone's seen it.
Yes.
Like everyone that's seen the roast is going to see the roast. It was #1 on Netflix for 2 weeks, over 2 weeks. And now it's trickling down the top 10. And I feel it going like, oh, no. But everyone who's going to see it has seen it. And it's millions and millions and millions of people.
Yes.
But there is less attention, less focus.
You don't even have a baby to distract you from the lack of attention.
That's true. I don't. Well, what I will say is I'm having more responsibility because of the roast. Things are being brought my way, and there's a lot of like, okay, you did this thing, and now people are want more from you. Now you have to. There's something that the industry needs to suckle at those teats.
I mean, the fact that UTA made a
Isn't that so
carousel
funny?
post about you is insane.
It's so for those who don't know, like my agency is UTA, and
which is one of the top 4 agencies, and there's only 4 agencies that are really big, and they represent like every single star in the known universe.
Yeah, like Brad Pitt's at my agency.
Yeah,
like it's and I only know that because I don't even want to. I can't even say how I feel about I like am grateful for my agents. I really love all of them, but sometimes
They're
I
all
forget
rats.
where I'm at. Like I've been at so many agencies. I'm like, I think I'm at UT. Like it's changed so much and people change, but I do love the individual people. But the agency itself, like the brand,
Yes.
I'm like, it's interchangeable to me.
It's
No
like-
offense
no offense
to what they've
Individual
built.
agents can be good, but
Oh my God.
agents in general
They can be
are a
great.
bunch of
I have
rats.
I have a sports agent now, Brian. I have a fucking
No, you
Jerry
don't.
Maguire.
That's new?
I'm not even joking you.
Oh
I have
my
a sports
God.
agent.
That
His name
just
is
happened?
Yes, his name is
Wow.
Ryan. I'm so sorry, Ryan. I'm not remembering your last name. But he is such a sports agent. He was,
Oh
you
my
know, I was on a
God.
Zoom with all of them to kind of like come together and be like, what's going on? And because I've been like, a little bit of a darling in the sports world because of the roast and because I was able to say I don't know much about football in my roast set, so no one can expect me to know much about football. I'm like squarely aligned with what I can bring to the NFL, which is jokes about an outsider's perspective that doesn't have to do with knowing exactly how the game works. Like I really feel comfortable working with the NFL because they know who I am and they don't want anything from me that isn't what I gave at that roast, and I can give at that roast. So I'm I like can't wait to work with the NFL. So and I am getting into football in a real way. Like the other night I woke Chris up in the middle of the night to be like, okay, if they go for the conversion, do they like how many yards do they move back? Because I couldn't I was watching a tutorial on YouTube and they kind of just skipped over it, and I'm like, no, we don't understand what it means to. And Chris said it can depend. He said anywhere from like 3 yards to 7.
If they go for a 2-point conversion,
Yeah.
like after a touchdown,
Well, wait, is there a 1-point conversion?
that's just called the extra point when you kick it.
Yeah, that's just a kick. But if they're going for the 2-point conversion, I'm sorry, I thought the conversion was just the play. Okay, if they're going for the 2-point conversion, how many yards back?
I don't know. I think it's like 5.
Why wouldn't you guys know that? That seems like an important thing to know. Like as soon as they
well,
brushed
I think
over
they
it,
changed it, and
yeah, he said they changed it.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's 5. I'm not sure.
Okay,
To be honest.
well, it's something you all
Good
should
question.
know. Okay.
Yeah, I
well, it
should
was a
look
good
that up.
question because it just was like talked about. Anyway, I have a sports agent now, and he was like a little bit more
So
ball
cool.
bustery than all the other ones on the call. He was
Yeah.
like, and I love Jerry Maguire, and that's my probably top 5 favorite movie, and it was giving that, and I just like sports people because they remind me of comics because they talk shit and they're really honest. And there's just like I don't know. I think the sports world and the comic world is really the Venn diagram is of kind of like personalities is almost a circle.
Yeah, this makes so much sense, and it's not something I ever would have like predicted for you, or would have even like been like, you know what, you should like try to go into this field. But now that it's here and it's happening, it just makes so much sense that Nikki Glaser would be a sports NFL comedian. You're just that you have the right personality, you have the right types of jokes. I think it makes perfect sense in my mind,
Thank
but I would
you.
have never predicted it.
No, ever. And that's great. I love when things happen in my career that I'm not like aiming for, because then it always feels like I manipulated somehow to get it. And this is just a natural thing. It's like, I like you and you like me. Oh my God. Okay, let's start dating. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even consider dating you. It just feels like kind of just a meet cute of sorts. And so, but yeah, UTA made a post about me, and my friend Dan Levy, not the one from Schitt's Creek, but Dan Levy, he's a comedian. He's written a bunch of stuff. He's hilarious. He's one of my favorite people, comedian Dan Levy, spelled the same way as the other one. But he DM'd me first and was like, oh, you know you've made it when UTA posts about you. And I was like, oh my God. And so I joked in my story and I was like, thank you, my agency. And I hope people didn't think I was actually being like, thank you, my agency. It was just, I was calling out that like an entity is celebrating me. And then an entity that literally is like, let's just be honest, like they are into me because I'm hot right now. And like, yes, they've believed in me in certain ways, but they got on board once I was, you know, they'll get rid of me when I'm not hot. And I won't take any offense because that's just the way this business works. And I expect it.
That's more age, but that happens more frequently with age. I feel like managers will hold on to you a little bit longer.
Yeah, they will.
Agents are like brutal.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. Like they're fuckboys, you know, like they're gonna make you have a great fucking time, but don't trust them for the long haul. And that is what I realized show business is. You cannot get into showbiz thinking that it's not a marriage that's gonna last forever. You will be divorced. You will separate. You might stay married, but sleep in separate bedrooms the rest of your life and always resent each other. But at some point, unless you are maybe William Shatner or Betty White, and I've talked about this before, it is a relationship I am entering into knowing it will not be forever. And it's just the way it is. And there's the illusion that it's going to be forever because you're hot right now and how could this go away? But every piece of evidence, aside from a couple people, leads me to believe it will not be forever. And if it is, it will never be at the level that you think it will be. It will ebb and flow. And so I'm excited for this time in my life right now, and I'm just working on figuring out what I want to do next, because I've always been able to just kind of go, I don't know, I'll see what I want to do when it comes up. Like I don't have any real goals. And now it's like, well, you can kind of do anything you want. Like, what do you want to make?
God.
Who do you want to make it with? And like people are excited. Like it's awesome. And but I also have to think, do I want to spend my life on a movie set? Do I want to spend my life working on a movie script with someone who might be great at writing movies, but isn't that good of a hang? And the truth is, no, I don't care that much because it is all fleeting. So if I win an Academy Award for a comedy, which has never been done, but could be, even that will be forgotten someday. It's about working with fun people and working with people you admire. So I'm just consuming a lot right now to be like, what kind of stuff, where's there a deficit in movies and TV that I want to fill, that I would want to watch, and would I want to make something that is that thing? And right now I'm thinking rom-com, movie rom-com is something I'm like starting to imagine what that would look like for me, because I watched a couple rom-coms last week, namely The Idea of You, which is Anne Hathaway going to a Coachella and meeting a boy band guy who is almost half her age. And that was a movie that I saw. And
yeah, that's so true.
Now I feel a little bit cagey about talking shit. But here's the thing. I don't feel bad talking shit about movies because I know that the people that made these movies probably set out to make a great movie, and the script was probably great, and the studios fucked it up. So I can always shit on things knowing and not really offend. To me, I'm not attacking the writer or the performers or the director even necessarily, who I think has a big hand in whether something looks good. I can always rely on the fact that probably the studio got in there and fucked this up and made it unwatchable and made it insulting to people who are watching it and are trying to actually be challenged with how they think and where they see things going. There's no challenge.
Coming from the writer's side of it, I can say that there's probably a 50% chance that the writer sucks and they wrote a shitty script.
Okay.
They're just not funny.
Well, I want to just err on the side of the studios fucking it up because it's easier to come after a conglomerate, is that the word, than it is an individual who's typing away in Silver Lake.
It's same with agents. It's like there can be good agents, there can be good writers, but there's so many of them that are not good. Yeah. There's so many of them that are bad. It's mind-boggling.
Well, yeah, I don't know how it happened. And same with comedians. There's so many bad comedians that are successful because I think the problem is, and I don't want to sound elitist because I just think that some people there needs to be entertainment for dumb people.
Yeah.
It is. There are a lot of dumb people in the world, and I'm saying dumb with no judgment. That dumb is just a thing.
You're only judging their intelligence.
No, I'm not even judging it. It's just a fact. They have lower intelligence than other people. It doesn't mean that they should die. It doesn't mean I think they deserve worse lives. It just is true that there are people with less intelligence that also deserve to have a good time at the cinema. And they are procreating more than people who aren't. Like, you know, that one movie that no one wasn't as popular as it should be because people are dumb. Yeah, Idiocracy. It's Idiocracy. Yep. So those people, when I get frustrated at a comedian who I think is just not challenging anyone, doing the most hack stuff, I'm like, and they're selling out places. I go, well, these people are enjoying it. They're not lying to themselves. They actually are, and they deserve to have fun too. And just because they aren't as intelligent doesn't mean that they deserve less or I need to hate them. I can be frustrated with them because I want them to because I think with less intelligence comes less compassion and less kindness and less introspection that leads to a better world. So I get frustrated with the unintelligent people, but I'm not mad that they like dumb things. I'm over that thing. I'm like, okay, this isn't for me, and not because and by the way, Oppenheimer's not for me because I'm too stupid. So there's always something that's for someone else. It doesn't
even have to be.
No. It doesn't.
Here's the beauty of it. If you're smart, you can enjoy the dumb stuff too. You can go I'm gonna put myself in that headspace and just have a good time.
No, I don't think I can. No, you know what? Yes, I can, because I can watch it ironically and I can pause it and make fun of how dumb they think we are and why that makes any fucking sense. That guy would Okay, we're going to go to break, and I'm going to come back and talk about The Idea of You, which is the Anne Hathaway movie where she meets a guy at Coachella. And I'm also going to talk about the Sydney Sweeney movie, Anywhere But Here. And then I watched another one.
Anyone But You.
Whatever it is. Literally, these titles are terrible too. Terrible.
Yeah.
What's the one with Jennifer Lawrence? Another bad title that I cannot. No strings attached or no feelings hurt. The one where she fucks the kid. Not kid, but like the yeah. It's no
she
hard
fucks
feelings.
a kid and then becomes a garbage man and gets hit by a teenager.
I think there is a garbage man involved in that movie. But anyway, I want to talk about I want to talk about sex scenes after this in rom-coms. And if you've seen these movies, which I know you girls have, besties, I know some of you have seen them. If not, you need to watch them because they are entertaining to make fun of. And there's a little bit of fun in them too when you let yourself go and you go, baby, that could be me meeting that guy. After this. Okay, so we put on the Idea View the other night because I'm like, okay, well, what's the state of the rom-com right now? And I've been wanting to see the Idea View. I heard it really kind of indulges women in this desire to meet a celebrity and fall in love, which is something we all kind of fantasize about. You run into you're trying to find the bathroom at Coachella, which who even knows how she got back to those trailers? That wasn't really addressed. But she walks into a trailer and imagine this. Imagine you're at Coachella in a tent. And
it's hard to imagine.
And you have to go to the bathroom and you ask, where's the bathroom? And they go this way. So you walk that way. And that way just takes you out into a field with a bunch of trailers. Now, wouldn't you figure those trailers are for people that are performing at the event you're at and that maybe they're not your bathroom? Wouldn't you maybe find someone else and go, are there porta potties? Not this girl. She just walks into a trailer. The trailer is seemingly empty when she walks in. And then she walks to the bathroom of the trailer and she tries to open it and there's someone in there. Now, what would you or anyone else do in that situation?
That's hot girl dumb. She's
not
going
dumb
through her
though.
life. But she's been going through her life without repercussions.
Art gallery in Silver Lake. She is an art
Okay, then
curator
it's not
that is
dumb.
well
It's
respected.
hot girl privilege.
She has bangs and a daughter. And she wears flowy dresses.
But she's a hot girl. Like it's hot girl privilege because she's been doing stuff like that her
Hathaway
entire
hot,
life.
which is like super hot, but like also approachable and can kind of like she
That's
can kind of
even worse.
register as like quirky. And she, she
well,
can
it's a
kind
movie. In the movie, I think they're trying to say like everyone's agreeing in the movie that she's a hot person.
But this is not hot girl privilege. They're not trying to be like she just walks. This is just they're trying to paint a picture in which this could happen to you. So you walk into a trailer and you knock on the door. You try to open the bathroom of the trailer and there's someone in there. What would you and literally everyone in the world do?
I would, if there's someone in the trailer, I knocked on it. I would probably say, "Oh my god!"
You're inside the trailer and you knock on the bathroom of the trailer.
Oh my god! First of all, I wouldn't even be in that situation.
Right, but
I wouldn't have the gall to walk into a trailer and try to find the bathroom.
Literally, no one would.
That person would probably call the police. I would say, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that this was a trailer."
Perfect answer.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even be here. I'm sorry that I'm knocking on your trailer door, your bathroom trailer door. Instead, she sits and waits for the bathroom to be open. And so then this hot guy comes out. He looks exactly like Matt Rife.
How lucky.
And this guy is so hot and young, and he's supposed to be 24, but he's really 29, and she's supposed to be 40, but she's really 42, and her daughter is supposed to be 16 and is literally 23. It is so dumb.
Wow.
Her daughter, her daughter who looks 23, goes to summer camp with like a pillow under her arm, like a sleepover summer camp at one point, while her mom is off banging this pop star, who's in a band called, it's called like August Moon. That's the name of it. And
God, it's like a IPA.
Yeah, totally. And so my problem is sex scenes. And the sex scenes now are not like actual sex. What they do in these shows now is the guy will approach her from behind and start kissing her neck, and they'll kind of kiss while she's in front of him. And then there will be a arm that like you see his hand like go down, and then you know he's fingering her because clothes aren't coming off. And then she will have a full-blown orgasm on camera where she is acting a fool, yo. Like it happened with the Natalie Portman thing where she's like simulating sex in that in that fish tank area in that movie that she did with Julianne Moore that everyone loved and I didn't. I'm tired of watching these amazing actresses. No. It was the one where she I like panned it because I didn't understand it was supposed to be ironic.
Secret Life of Pets?
No. Natalie Portman was in a movie that was the last Oscar season she was like nominated for.
Okay. I
It
think
was with Julianne Moore, and
Yeah.
Julianne Moore fucked a kid in high school, and then, that one.
the Garbage Man one. Got it.
So she, but I am so tired of watching women orgasm on camera. It is very vulnerable. I would honestly rather see them just get like full penetrate. I would rather see tits shaking and like getting slammed than this girl going, and then going like, and like biting her lip. And it's like, there is something going on in Hollywood right now where people like to see women orgasming. And by the way, we never have to see the guy orgasm. Not that anyone wants to see that, but we never, ever
That would
see
be
him.
hilarious.
He's just stoically fingering and kind of just like looking hot and cool while she's writhing around like she's having an exorcism. And it's so embarrassing. And I really think actresses need to stand the fuck up. And maybe they wanted to do this and say, I'm not going to do porn for you. Because why?
But it feels like they want to. Like did Emma Stone want to in Poor Things? She was like, basically it was like a porn for her.
Yes.
For a lot of it. Did she say, I want to do this because it's like
I'm
a
sure
representation
because
of my
she's-
sexuality?
I'm sure she did, because she seems like someone that I listen, no matter how much you think you want to do things, the fact that it's even written in is because because they know women having sex sells. You don't need to show sex all the time. And I'm someone who loves pornography. I obviously love to talk about sex very openly. I don't feel like I need a sex scene in every fucking movie. I think that making out is enough. Even that grosses me out sometimes. We know what sex looks like. Hopefully we've all seen it.
Wow.
And so you can just have a couple laying down, kissing, and then waking up in the morning.
Nikki,
That's
you're
all you
entering
need.
your Mormon phase, your Puritan phase.
Final thought. I just think it's taking advantage of women to have to writhe around and have orgasms on a otherwise PG-13 movie, and it gets away with being PG-13 because it's not explicit.
What
but
if
it
the guy?
really is.
What if you saw the guy orgasm too? Would that make it fair and even?
Yes,
If you had to-
absolutely. Yes, but it wouldn't be, because for some reason that's disgusting and ours
It's just
isn't.
hilarious. A man orgasming is one of the funniest things on planet Earth.
I think the whole discussion of like women having sex is beautiful and men is not beautiful is a way for them to convince women that it's art when we have to come on camera and to make us do it more. So it's artistic, and men it's gross, and it's like, no, it's all, if you're trying to portray what really happens in the world, you need to show the man coming too. And in fact, you should show the woman coming a lot less. And you should show her not coming fucking 10 seconds after he starts touching her.
Yeah.
It's insane. And I just don't want to see Anne Hathaway orgasming. And I don't want to see, who else? Sydney Sweeney orgasming in a shower. And we didn't need to see her nipples in that scene. I hope she got paid so fucking much for that shower scene where you see her nipple for a half a second.
Sydney Sweeney?
Yeah, you see her nipple.
Well, you see her nipple in Euphoria a lot too, so she's known for showing her nipples.
Good for her. Which if my tits looked like that too, I would show them off. But I just find it like I just think there's some coercion involved, and I don't want to take anything from these women who have full autonomy over themselves. I just think that if it's written in the script for you to be topless, you can negotiate how topless. But why do we need to be topless? Can't Sydney Sweeney's talent speak for itself?
I don't know, but it's like seeing a movie where Sydney Sweeney's not topless is like watching a Michael Jordan not dunk.
Well,
It's like,
then
why would you
maybe
not
we
do
don't
it?
put Sydney Sweeney in things. If her talent can't stand alone without seeing her nipple, we don't put her in things. I don't think that's what you should do. I like Sydney Sweeney's acting, but I think that if
great.
it's not good enough and you have to show her tits, maybe.
But it's like she's got this great trick that she can perform, and it's like you don't do it.
Listen.
She doesn't have to do it every time, but it gives her a leg up.
I just picture a male director behind the camera being
that's how
like,
it is,
I just, and I don't mean to take anything from these women. This is going to wait for this to show up on a fucking page 6. Nikki Glaser slams Sydney Sweeney for not standing up for herself in a shower scene.
I defend Sydney Sweeney. I think she should be allowed to show her tits in anything she wants. It's perfectly fine. I'm on her side on this one.
I am also
Do it
on
more
her
often.
side, and I just posed nude for PETA. You can see my full tit minus my nipple. You can see everything. It's coming out. I think it'll be out tomorrow, which is the day this comes out. So go check out my PETA ad. I am fully nude. And I did it because I like the campaign because it's for PETA and I support PETA, and any kind of attention PETA gets will be great. And if my nude body gets more eyes on the fact that you shouldn't wear fur or, leather, then great, or wool. But also, I wanted to get naked. I am in a place in my life where and yes, Sydney Sweeney might be in a place in her life too where she can get naked and feel really good about it, and she should be because she looks amazing. But I just feel there's just an inkling in me that we are being served this because we don't feel like it's good enough on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
your inklings are correct. I mean, it definitely there's been men saying that this is what you need to do in order to succeed. But I do feel like this new generation of people, these new generation are more comfortable with nudity for some reason.
As they should be. And you know what? I'm kind of changing my mind. Page 6, stop writing your little headline about me shaming Anne Hathaway and Sydney Sweeney. I hope you listened to this far because I keep getting clipped by Page 6 for these fucking things I say on podcasts that are so out of context. It is a nightmare. And I said about Ben Affleck, I said on We Might Be Drunk, the podcast, I said they were talking about Ben Affleck's performance at the roast, and I was like, oh, I think I know what happened. Like, he didn't take it seriously. He thought it was probably beneath him. This was just a speculation. He thought it was beneath him, and he didn't prepare as much as he should. And I said, which I have done a million times in my career, where you don't know how big something's going to be, and you do kind of think it's beneath you, and you kind of phone it in. I literally empathized with him. I didn't say it was a bad choice on his part. I didn't slam him. But no one's going to listen to the podcast. They're just going to see that I slammed Ben Affleck, especially Ben Affleck. If he ever saw that, I'm embarrassed to meet him now.
He doesn't give a shit.
I know. He's getting slammed so much in the media that he's not going to pay attention. That's what I told my dad, because my dad was like, you need to find Ben Affleck and tell him you didn't mean that. I'm like, he doesn't care, Dad.
He knows it's all bullshit. But at Page 6, if you are listening, I want you to write into the article that straight white male comedian Brian Frangie defended Sydney Sweeney's right to go topless in any movie that she wants.
I want her to go topless too in all things because they're amazing and they're fun to look at, and she is so sexy, and it does, I guess, add to her character. But I will also say they gave us a lot of Glenn Powell nude, and I do appreciate that. I want to say from the bottom of my heart that they definitely there was a dick in that movie. It wasn't Glenn Powell's. I wouldn't mind seeing his in a movie coming up if he feels like that he's at a point in his career where his acting needs that help. Not saying that's what Sydney even thinks, but I did appreciate a very naked Glenn Powell throughout it, and as a woman, I felt seen, and I was glad for that. So I guess it was even, but I don't want to see any more orgasming for sex scenes. If you're gonna have a sex scene, make it nude, make it messy. Let's get in there. Let's actually have a sex scene. Let's make this an R-rated thing. Don't keep it PG and have people orgasming because it is
that's interesting. Now
absolutely
I get what you're
indecent for little kids to go to a PG-13 thing and see a woman writhing around and having convulsions.
Now I'm on board. I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Like, it's like if you're going to do a sex scene, then do a sex scene. Don't just throw a towel over a woman and see her and be like, that's not sex. It's like that joke, that Louis C.K. joke about the N-word, where if like you said the N-word, now I know. I'm saying it in my head. Now you're making me say it, you piece of shit.
Yes.
It's the same thing with the sex scene. It's like we know what they're doing. The kids are subconsciously knowing what they're doing. It's like we're imagining it now.
Well, you know what? As a kid watching that, I'd go like, "What is he doing to her? And what's happening to her? Is she being electrocuted?" Like with more information and more of a context, I think that it would be less confusion and less like kind of scarring. Because it is. Please go watch the scene where she's getting fingered by the guy. It's probably it's probably half the way through the movie. Half the way through the movie. But
no more sex scenes in rom-coms. It should be a kiss on the cheek, and then we just assume.
Well,
cut away.
I watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith last night because I was craving some actual chemistry between two leads, which I will say Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell had amazing chemistry. Loved it. And then but Mr. and Mrs. Smith, holy shit. I lost interest immediately because I don't like action, so I stopped any scene where there was like shooting going on. I was on my phone. But Jennifer Aniston didn't stand a chance having her husband come back from that film.
Oh yeah. No.
Like
Similarly, Ben Affleck, did you watch Deep Water?
Oh yeah, I know you're a big fan of that. That was
Deep Water.
fucking steamy as shit, dude.
Yeah, that's steamy. That's the best
and
one.
they
in
were together.
recent
I
years.
love watching movies where they got
Yes.
together. That's why I went back and watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith, because I know they were fooling around during this. I can't imagine how hot it is, and it was pretty good. All right, we have to go. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow on the podcast. Besties are the best. You know we love you. You're my number one fans. You're my OGs. We have a lot of new listeners. Welcome to the show. It is this every time. And we do have some Taylor Swift Gush Fest episode coming up on Friday that I want to warn people about. That is, if you're a new bestie and you're not a Taylor Swift head, you might go, what the fuck is this? That episode's not for you. It's just bonus content for like Swiftie besties. And it really, you will not understand it, and you will be almost mad at me for the way I talk on it. So I wouldn't recommend listening to that unless you're a Swiftie. But we will have 2 episodes this week normally. So bye, Brian. Bye, and wish Noah all the love for Toby, who's born on April 27th. And I know she misses you guys and misses hearing from you. So shoot her a note if you feel inclined to congratulate her and to keep her company. That's all for the show. Brian is gone. He went to a doctor's appointment. My producer who's filling in, Olivia, is, I think, in the other room. And so I'm all alone just talking to no one. You guys are the best. Don't be cuh. And come see me on tour. So many new dates coming out. NikkiGlaser.com. New ones added for June. So I'm coming to Chandler, Arizona. That one was just freshly announced. But there's so many because, I'm having a moment. So dates are filling up and new dates. So if you haven't checked my dates in a while, go do that, NikkiGlaser.com. And I can't wait to see you at a live show. Love you guys, and don't be killed. Bye.